Hi, welcome to Tarot Time, everybody. Welcome to the Medium channel, where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. So, thank you, Yvonne. Great rising, all. And so, I'll say a few quick hellos in a minute. But if you're watching this as a video, just so you know what's going on this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about the tarot, do a 3-card tarot spread, do some other divination tools, and this will be for the week. And as I do the cards, we basically do like one 3-card reading, and there's about 300 or so people that tune into Tarot Time. So the cards could be for you individually if something that comes up resonates with you personally. They can also be a statement on this community. We're a growing, evolving, and awakening community here on the Medium channel, as well as obviously other channels that do spiritual teachings and so forth. So this could be more community based, or they could be statements on what's going on in the world, what's going on in the news and stuff like that. So as I'm doing the cards and I'm doing the readings, whatever you feel like if something is resonating with you, that may be a personal message. If it's not, then it's probably that particular message isn't for you personally. So trust your heart, trust your intuition. The idea is we're all here to grow, to learn, to love, to awaken. And that's what Tarot Time is about. Tarot is an ancient wisdom tool that is thought to have evolved out of some of the early mystical texts like the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life glyph in the Kabbalah. And some scholars believe that there's even biblical symbols, within the tarot. So anyhow, welcome everybody. And we are now in Scorpio season. Yay! So for us Librans, we now kind of bow out, give the spotlight to all the wonderful Scorpios that are here. This is your season. This is your sun right now, and your time to shine in this world. And right outside, it's pretty overcast. It's kind of partly cloudy in my brain, but it's completely cloudy out here where I am. And we're expecting some needed rain and moisture in the next few days, of course. That tends to be a trend on my days off. I think it's spiritual way of saying, no, you're not going to go out and play on your days off. You're going to continue doing your work. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. It's a beautiful day, no matter what's going on. And we're alive, we're healthy, or hopefully we're all healthy. If not, we're getting healthier. We're becoming more free. We're becoming more aware. We're becoming more awake. Yes, it's a difficult time in the world. In fact, it's monumental. And the next several months, we're likely to see suffering on a scale that we may not be used to. But it's also a really beautiful time because this is the awakening. This is the shift. We've been living in a world, living in a society of unsustainable systems that are not fair to most people for a very long time. People are awakening, but there's forces that are trying to prevent the awakening, and that creates conflict. And that's just a necessary step in our evolution. So for those that get displaced, those that suffer, those that you have suffered through wars and all the atrocities that are going on in the world, you have my compassion, you have our compassion in this community. But compassion is not pity or feeling sorry for. It's understanding that there's a divine purpose and that we support you and wish to ease your suffering as much as we can. So we create community and we share and we express our concerns. We support one another and we grow together, and that's what this is about. So as things shift and the powers that be want to automate society more, want to automate us for that matter. For those of you that are aware of the projects on transhumanism and stuff like that, we're here to grow spiritually. We're here to grow from the heart and to expand through the heart center. And technology is great, but not at the expense of our own individuality, our own humanism, and our own heart and our own spirituality. So then now I see our esteemed astrologer and numerologist Sharita Starr is in. So thank you for being here, and thank you everybody else that's here. Colleen, Laura, I missed a bunch of people, but that's okay. So starting Scorpio season. Scorpio is a water sign. The tarot card, I didn't pull it out, but the tarot card that um, is connected to the energies of Scorpio is the death card. Now, if you know a thing or two about Scorpio, it's very fitting because during the Scorpio season here in the Northern Hemisphere, in the temperate latitudes, anyways, the leaves are falling from the trees. The summer plants are dying off. So we recognize in the Scorpio energy that death is a necessary part of the cycle of life, and that there really is no death. It's just different levels of life. So the veils get very thin around this time of year. We have Samhain and Halloween coming up, and El Dia de los Muertos coming up. So we have all these celebrations on death, dying, and rebirth that happens during the Scorpio season, and there's a reason for that. So pay attention to what Sharita is saying. She tends to support the tarot work that I'm doing through her numerological and astrological insights, and as she often says, and I think she's talking about your forecast, that to really understand what's going on, astrology and numerologically, you have to understand the personal relevance, and that can only be seen, at least from an astrological perspective, through analyzing your natal chart and maybe your progressions and returns also, and how that connects in with what's going on in the present planetary movements. So we have solar eclipse Tuesday, very early in the morning. If anybody, it's a partial eclipse. I haven't done a lot of research, but I will before 7. At 7, we're going to do our new moon update. Every month I do a new moon forecast, because the new moon sets the template for the entire 29-day lunar cycle. So what happens on that moment of the new moon, that's kind of like the template that we build upon during the coming months. So it sets our foundation. That might be even a better analogy, that just sets the foundation for the month that we can build upon. So we're going to talk about that at 7. I'm not going to bother to looking for the death card. Suffice it to say that in tarot, that's key 13. Death is about transformation. It's not about physical death. It's about death of the old self, so that a new, better self can be born and can emerge out of that. So that's where we are here. And I'm just checking on some of your comments. I'm going to pull a meditation card next. That's next on the agenda. Moving forward will certainly indicate the best times. Yeah. Okay. So, what's going on? Is Saturn going direct? I usually I have a little bit of foreknowledge of what's going on, but I think Saturn stations, right? Or did that happen already? Wait a second. You, um, we know Mercury's direct. We know Pluto's direct. Yeah, I think Saturn is doing that now. And we had the solar eclipse, a partial eclipse right on the new, right on. Well, the solar eclipse is always right on the new moon. It can't be any other time, because for there to be a solar eclipse, literally the moon and the sun have to be in an exact, precise conjunction, not only from an astrological perspective, but also from the perspective of the ecliptic. So the eclipses always happen around the lunar nodes, around the same sign and close to the same degree. So that's just astronomy more than astrology, really, and math, basically. So that's going on. So Sharita said Saturn also went direct early this morning. And what else happened early this morning? Oh, we entered Scorpio, and Venus is hanging around the sun and the moon also, because the sun and moon are going to be conjunct, as we explained Tuesday morning on the partial solar eclipse. And there's other goodies going on, but let's pull a meditation card now. Okay, so Sunday. In 2 weeks, we go back to standard time here in some states, and the standard time may be a thing of the past. So we'll see. What the brilliant minds of the Senate and Congress come up with for, should we have standard time? Should we be on standard time? We could do a poll. Should we be on standard time for the whole year? Should we be on daylight time for the whole year? Or should we keep switching? You know, the fall back is great. The spring ahead is challenging, and because we lose an hour's sleep or whatever. Um, Daylight time is beautiful in the summer, especially June and July when it stays light here till almost 10 o'clock at night. But then in the winter months, if we're on daylight time, you're not going to see the sun till about 8:30 in the morning. So anyway, let's pull a meditation card. So this will be for the week. If you like to meditate with tarot, like I was explaining in the beginning a little bit, tarot is basically a kind of a doorway to the spirit world. It's a wisdom deck. It became a meditation deck. Only recently, like in the last 100 years or so, has it really been popularized as a divination tool, or in other words, a way of discerning the future and planning the future and stuff like that. I mean, I do tarot readings, obviously. That's part of, I do more mediumship than anything, but I do tarot readings as part of my professional practice. And we always say choice centered, that what comes out in the card just pick up on energies and trends. And if we don't like it, then we have to change our energy to change our trend. And we have to do that on a subconscious level. Otherwise, nothing's going to change on a conscious level, because that's just the way it works. We just keep recycling the same things over and over again until we go deeper and we go to the control room, so to speak, change the programming there, and then that starts to change our results on the outside. So very similar to what happens in reality. When we change our vibration, it changes our frequency. That changes the micro or the subatomic um, reality, the quantums. It changes the things on a quantum level, because it's all energy. And what happens on a quantum level or a subatomic or micro level, or whatever word you want to use in time, that's going to change on a macro level. So what you desire already exists. We'll get a little bit Wayne Dyer on you now. What you desire already exists, or maybe more Joe Dispenza. It exists in the quantum field, that realm of where all possibility and all time exists. So the only thing that separates you from what you desire in your life is time. And if you understand that it already exists, you start to set the wheels in motion on the subatomic level. And it may take months or even years to transform on a macro physical level, but it already exists. So anyhow, um, let's do a meditation card. And are we drinking coffee, tea, or are we caffeine free on a beautiful Sunday morning? Great to be alive as usual. And haven't had my breakfast yet, and I'm still smiling. But yeah, these next 6 months are very dicey. I think the way to get through this, my feeling is we'll be okay, but the world's changing a lot, and it may not be easy. We may have our routines disrupted. We may have our patterns changed. We may need to be more adaptable. But the idea is to stay in the heart and to stay in your root also, because when you're in your root, you're grounded, and all the storms, the energetic storms going on in the world don't knock you over as easily when your roots are deep, just like the physical storms take out these white pines. And I'm looking out my window and I wish my neighbors would. Actually, I don't wish they would I don't like cutting trees down. We'll just say prayers that the next storm doesn't blow the white pines on the house. That works, by the way. Everything's energy. And you have circa 2012 Hurricane Sandy, which we're really about to celebrate the 10th anniversary of, I don't know if celebrates the right word, acknowledge the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. That's, that was, the Frankenstein storm, and then it hit this area, I think, right the day before Halloween, the 29th or the 30th. And where I was in it was a dry hurricane, and where I was in the Catskills, in the southern Catskills at the time, apparently had this field of wind that lasted like 2 or 3 hours that was stronger than anywhere else. I mean, it was whistling through them trees, and it was blowing stuff down. And it we lost, where I was living, we lost 6 trees. And I was upstairs drumming and connecting with the wind element and connecting with spirit. And my terrified roommate with her daughter was in the basement yelling at me, "Come down, it's not safe up there." And I'm like, I have to do this work. And anyhow, making a long story short, we connected. And then I went downstairs, crack, another tree falls, crack, another tree falls. Next day, the arborist comes in, looks around. I mean, it looked like a tornado blew through, basically. And he's looking around at the trees and all the bushes around the house, and he told the person that I live with that something to the effect like, "There's just no way that your house didn't get affected by this." It's like, how did these trees miss your house? And it's like, I mean, I know everything's energy, and I'm not like tooting my own horn. Anybody can do this. Anybody can connect to nature and influence nature, just like nature influences us. So we're really part of this closed system, and it's really powered by consciousness. So, and we lost 6 trees. There were big branches all around, so I was telling my roommate, "See, give me some thanks for saving your house." And she was like, "You could have done that from downstairs, from the basement." I was like, "No, no. Spirit told me to go to the top floor and to do this, and I did it, and I connected, and these are the results." So, anyways, why that happened, I mean, I don't know, but I've seen many examples of that we influence nature, nature influences us. So anyhow, so Angela's sharing an interesting story also, and I when I was out in Oklahoma, I was able to connect with some of the Native American elders there, and um, there's one. I mean, he's Bob Fields. I think that was at least his American name. And he's talking about how, because this was in Norman, Oklahoma. I mean, that's like ground zero for Tornado Alley. And he's saying, hey, when the tornadoes came, how they would pray, and the tornadoes would skip over the houses, so there'd be damage upwind, then it would skip over the house, and then it would touch down again. So we absolutely had that influence. Yes. All right. So come and get him right along. Zero faith in the political solution here. This is from MT. I hope New York has a change of. Oh, yes. Well, a lot of people agree with you, MT. If you look at New York State, especially more in the city area in the Hudson Valley, but it's it's a fairly blue state, and having the elections or the polls being that close says something. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. All right. So meditate with tarot card. I mean, you can do this any which way you want, but the way I recommend is you get a snapshot of the card if you have your own tarot card. Okay, there's too many wires here. There's my microphone wires in the way. Okay, you have this what's it called, an NT smart something, a smart mic Rody or something like that. Anyway, I've got to have it pretty close to my mouth for the sound quality to be good. And that means there's wires. All right, so my old saying or my new saying: when you're thinking, you're not connecting. When you're connecting, you're not thinking. So I have to stop thinking for a second so I can connect with the energy here and get us the right card. Okay, this is the one. that they want. Interesting. So we're going off our trend of getting either court cards or major arcana cards for a meditation. So this card, as a meaning, is really about addressing or holding off challenges. So this might be very apropos energy to meditate on this week. We'll see what the three cards spread says also. But you notice the person here, they're above these wands or rods that are coming at him, and he's sort of fending them off, but he's not really in danger. It's almost like a stalemate, if you will. So the way to meditate with the card is, take a mental snapshot, get present. That's what meditation is. You stop your thinking. And if you do this right now, if you want to indulge me, do just a little mini quick exercise. And I can hear in my mind, oh, Adam, it's Sunday morning, no exercise, just information, please. But just stop thinking just for a second and be aware of your breath, and notice that your consciousness just raises a level or two just by doing that. And if you do that at different times of your day, especially stressful times of your day, just stop your thinking and be aware of your breath and be present. You'll find that stressful will start to dissipate actually quite quickly. And again, you raise your consciousness. So get present in your meditation, and then in your mind, step into the card. This is like a doorway to a panoramic scene. Step in and see what's going on, and be part of the scene, and see what message you get, what you feel like. I believe, for me anyway, the best way to start when you come into like a new meditation, because you're really like stepping out of your physical world and stepping into the world of this card, like the energetic universe of this particular tarot card. When you step in, gauge what you feel, your subtle emotions, feelings, maybe even in your body. Do you feel happy? Do you feel oppressed? What do you feel? And then maybe look for the scenery, look for the beings. They may be your spirit guides. And I feel like Spirit's saying, and what do these wands represent? Like what challenges are you holding off right now? And if you don't know, this is the place to go to ask Spirit. Once you get insight, you'll do a better job. And it's not just about holding off challenges, it's thriving through the experience, because in the human experience, for spirits traveling in souls, having human experiences, very temporary human experiences at that, we learn more through challenges. And for those of you that caught my Thursday upload about the 8 things that you agreed to forget before you came into the world, I talked about, we agreed to challenge as part of growth. We agreed that this wasn't going to be easy, but at the same time, necessary and beautiful. Life is a beautiful experience. Physical life is a beautiful experience, but it comes with its challenges. And we agreed to come into this time. So if you're interested in the things that you may have forgotten before you came into a physical body, you can go to that video after we're done here. It's the 8 things that you agreed upon before coming to Earth, basically. So that's that. Apparently, meditations during an eclipse is extremely awesome. It is. I've meditated on many an eclipse. Some people don't recommend that, by the way, for whatever reason. Maybe Sharita knows, but so Sharita is saying the deacon for this card is Mars and Leo. That's from the Golden Dawn, I believe, from Aleister Crowley, or maybe one of his teachers or mentors came up with those correspondences for tarot cards. So interesting that this is Mars in Leo, and we have Mars stationing. It's going to go retrograde on the 30th. By the way, we're going to be doing mediumship on the channel as Mars is completely stationed on October the 30th at 7 o'clock. It's free, so if you want to be part of that, you might even get a message. But I'll have more coming with that. But 7 o'clock, we always do 8 times a year during the Celtic Sabbaths. We always do our mediumship group. So with that, I'll get the message. I put it out to the group. We usually have 50 to 100 people live, and then a few other 100 people that come in later on. So But I feel like Spirit saying, tell them everybody gets a message, even if you don't get a direct contact, you'll still get a message. So anyway, if nothing else, you can see the process of mediumship and how it works, and how, as a medium, I have to kind of sort of fumble through the technology and all that, and getting the responses that way. But anyway, it's a good time, and we get some really powerful messages through. So anyway, so Shri saying meditation is awesome anytime. Yes, there is a stronger pull. Okay, thank you for that response. Let's do a 3-card spread. Okay, so again, I have to stop thinking so I can connect. Either that, I have to connect so I can stop thinking. Okay. One, two, three. Okay, we got our 3 cards. Got my advanced technology. All right, so this is what we got. We have the Temperance card, key 14, I believe. So there's a little bit of interesting insight into the numerology of number 14. Then we have a 7 and a 5 here. The 7 of Swords reversed, the 5 of Swords upright. Now, we're in Scorpio season, so we're really more in the cups in the tarot, because that represents water. Swords represents air, but we have a little cup here. We have Archangel Raphael, that's the angel in the Temperance card. So I feel like on one hand, basically, I feel like on a personal level, that you're being called upon to diffuse a situation. The thing is, what they're saying, as I'm saying that, is, for the ones that are on now that are having some challenges with a friend or a family member, or have had some falling outs or whatever, always remember to see the other person's point of view also. That we tend to get very caught up in our own stories, and so sometimes we sort of you kind of are overly critical of others, and you kind of forget that maybe they're struggling, and that maybe they just need a little bit of compassion. So the Temperance card offers a lot of compassion. It also offers a lot of kind of good management. And you think about the what temperance is. That was an expression that's very popular during the Prohibition era, about not drinking, basically. But in that regard, I just need to flip this over so I can catch a little bit of the symbology. In this card, there's it's not a yin yang symbol, but what's drawing my attention, if you can see it, is this little square that reminds me of a yin yang symbol. I don't know if I'm doing that properly. And to me, that's really about the balance. Finding some equilibrium's a better word than balance. Actually, that's the word that came to me. Finding some equilibrium in your life, and if you're in a situation, because a lot of us are growing and evolving, not everybody's growing at the same rate. Sometimes we need to pull away from people, but we want to do it in a compassionate way. So remember, what's Sharita telling us about 2022: master the art of compassion. So practice compassion in these situations, and with love, you can let people go, and wish them well, and all that stuff. So part of this process with this 7 of Swords is letting stuff go. Like, these swords could be almost like mind viruses, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. Now, Swords is about the mind. It's about air. And when I say about mind viruses, they're programs, just like a computer virus. We have mind viruses. Remember, when computers were being invented, then when they were being developed, the only model we had to go by was the human brain and the synaptic system, and computers are very much fashioned after that. So the brain is still the most sophisticated computer, and yes, they can fit, you know, a million times the memory that we have, you know, into a microchip. But the human brain is largely untapped. You know, if you think that we're using 10, 15 now scientists are saying maybe we use a little bit more than that, maybe closer to 18 or 20% of our brain. um, that's still a very small capacity, and cognitive and brain function is a logarithmic equation. It's not a linear equation. So in other words, if you increase brain function by a fact by 10, like go from 20% to 30%, you're actually increasing the function, not tenfold but a hundredfold, basically. That's at least logarithm to the power of 10, is it? It's been a long time since I studied this stuff. I'm in my 60s, so forgive me if I don't remember my high school algebra too well. But anyway, or no, that's not algebra. It's logarithms, but I don't remember my logarithms that well. So this is like to me, I'm just seeing letting all these mind viruses go. Like let the old go. You know, we're in Scorpio season. When the leaves are falling from the trees, let all the crap go. You know, it's your parents, you know, beliefs, your grandparents, your teachers, societies, you know, the almighty president. Um, so I, I like to be funny sometimes also, and somebody before like the election, this isn't political, this is humor, just so nobody clicks off in the middle. um, Somebody on Facebook was saying, you name a movie that best describes the elections. So people were coming up with some funny things, and what so you know, remember this was Donald Trump and Joe Biden, right? So the movie title that I came up with was Joe versus the volcano, basically. I don't know why that came into my mind, but I thought that was really perfect. Anyhow, and then you know the Five of Swords. It's interesting because you know there can be, you know, obviously it's a darker card, so it has that symbolism going on. But you notice also the person is planting the sword. That's what gets getting my attention, and it's kind of like he's a warrior, kind of battle weary. Sometimes it's in a reading. This could be about an empty victory. So, you know, I feel like again, you know, for us, you know, individually and as a community, you're likely to come up against a lot of negativity or a lot of disagreement. I mean, what else is new? We've been experiencing that for a good while now. um, but not to resort to like empty victories. Like in other words, we have to sort of evolve past trying to you know, if we're not in agreement or if we're upset or whatever, just trying to hit people's vulnerable spots, just trying to, you know, achieve some kind of an empty victory in the situation where you're just not going to feel good about yourself anyway. The idea is to listen to the other person. You know, we talk about communication a lot. At least I do. I think you do also. Um, to me, the lion's share of communication is the art of listening, right? Sharita, the silent listen, right? Um, and that's the lion's share. But usually, when we're listening, we're not even aware of it. That's how programmed people are. We listen to others with an agenda. Basically, we're not listening to what they're saying. We're listening to what how we interpret it. You know, again, it's our programming, and you see this a lot more and more. You know, I'll write a comment on another YouTube video. You know, I go around different channels that I like, and I watch videos and I comment. It's a great way to build community and to connect with like-minded people. And a lot of times people will criticize it, but they did not understand the original comment. They interpreted based upon their own way of thinking. So, you know, the way that we think, the way that we see the world, it's the lens we've had all of our lives. We don't even realize it. So this is where meditation is really valuable. Getting present, get so present that you lose your sense of self identity, your sense of self importance, that you're just spirit, you're just energy, you're just vibration. And if you can do that and practice that, then you start to clear the programming. It gets easier. Then you start to see things more as they're intended rather than more as you're wired to see it. Hopefully that makes sense. But long and the short of it is learn how to listen. It's that's to me is more important than even expressing things. I mean, I should say more important. We'll say equally important. It's just that the art of listening is very devalued now. And again, it's part of the programming, it's part of the diminishment of our power, but it's our responsibility to reclaim our power. And these small steps can lead to big victories in the end, basically. Um, so Five of Wands is okay. So Sharita is giving us the deacon for the cards. Five of Wands as well as Saturn and Leo. So in other words, we have a lot of Leo energy going on too, according to that. And so this is the responsibility of this time to go into the heart space to resolve the conflicts, the earth heart shift. Exactly right. And this has a very, very much of a sense of that. So what else is this saying? Something about education comes up. So I think some of you are really thinking about what's my next step of learning, what's my next step of growth. I feel like they're also talking about doing something a little bit more adventurous, but either on your own or with a very close loved one. And that could even be just taking a drive to the North Country or something like that, or whatever. But something to break up the routine right now. I feel like that's important to a lot of us. Like how can we break the routine? And they're also showing me something with like numbers or adding numbers and stuff like that. I think it's spiritually trying to say it's a good planning time as well. Maybe because we have all the station, these stationing planets right now. Saturn and Mars are, I mean, Mars is barely moving. It's like a week before the retrograde. So Mars is, for all intents and purposes, stationing, and Mercury's up to speed now. So that's the good news. And of course Saturn, and of course Pluto is going to be stationed for the next month or two. um, and it moves self. I mean, it's moved so slowly, anyways. And so letting go, what I think the important message here is what don't we need, in our lives anymore, what patterns, what cycles, and don't blame the other person. That just popped in my mind. Tell them don't blame the other person. It's not their fault. Understand that you create your reality. You're co-created with God or spirit. The other person is just a player in your chess game, so to speak. Chess is a game of strategy. We need to be strategists. That's how we're going to get through this time, with good strategy and with an open heart and with discernment also. That's part of good strategy, is discernment as well. That's the art of the warrior. The person that's not the warrior will point to the president, they'll point to the ex-president, they'll point to the cabal, they'll say, they did this to me, this, that, or the other thing. But the warrior takes responsibility for everything right or wrong or neutral in their world. It's like, this is an extension of my being. This is my opportunity for growth. So instead of complaining about things and getting angry, instead, you want to assess your playing field and come up with a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. I'm already on plan E, by the way. But I think you get the idea. So we're still in a good planning energy. The astrology and the numerology. Go check out Sharita's fall forecast. I'll put the link on the pinned comments also. She really spells this out well. We have our parade of 16-degree full moons that already started. 16 is the tower card. It's the shattered citadel. So the citadel of planet Earth is shattered now. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, if things were going well, it would be a bad thing, but things are not going well here. We have a planet where more than half of our citizens are hungry in an age where technology and resources exist to feed not only this planet, we could feed Mars, Venus, and Pluto for that matter also, with the resources and technology we have. I mean, as a prime example, all we need to do is clear out some land and grow some hemp. Three. I think there's 2 to 3 growing cycles per year, and hemp is a very high yield, high nutrition food. That's just one of many things that comes to mind. But we have the knowledge, we have the technology. So why are people suffering? Why are people hungry? That's, again, we have to accept that even on a global and a what's the right word, on a collective level, we still have to take responsibility. We created this on a collective level. We cannot be victims, because if you're a victim, then you're going to keep getting victimized, basically. If you're a warrior, people are going to start to honor your space and respect you and honor you more, because as a warrior, you honor yourself and you honor your space and so forth. So I feel like that's really kind of the message. But yeah, we may find mid to late week, things starting to just kind of de-evolve a little bit with things that are going on. I mean, I just peek at my news feeds, and it's like, whatever happened to responsible reporting that's non-biased, that's just giving the news. It's like, mind you, I don't agree with the former president, but when I read news feeds, when they insert false claims, it's like something, with the elections and this and that. And the president, the ex-president, is again talking about his false claims, or you're not supposed to make your own value judgment. You're supposed to just report the news, basically. So what does that mean? The media is very powerful. If you can control the thinking of a society, you control that society. The media is a major tool for that. And it's not necessarily that it's false, fake news. Usually the news is real to some degree, but we look at the opinions behind it, the way it's presented, and what's omitted. And that's where the technology comes in. It's not, it's what's not in the news, not what is in the news, that's really important. There's still riots and demonstrations going on all around the world. There's a lot going on. I'm not going to get into all the details. We don't hear about it. We just hear what they want us to hear, to get us into a more compliant state, in order to further centralize things and further seize more power. So anyway, that's my opinion on what's going on. Anyways, you can agree or not agree, and if you don't agree, you're allowed to tell me nicely. You're allowed to tell me. All right. Let me. I have. Thanks to, I think it was Jody that was kind to buy me this tarot deck. Unless I can't find it, Tarot of the Angels. So let me pull a card from here also. Never mind, I don't have to pull it. Actually, 2 cards. It fell. So I don't have to pull a card. They jumped out on their own. What do we have here? The 10 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. All right. Obviously, this happened twice in a row where we got the 6 section card. Obviously, I need to mix this deck up more, and I need to actually charge it for use. But anyways, I like the 10 of Pentacles because that's about wealth, and the 9 of Pentacles is about comfort and things like that as well. Thank you, Angel. I agree. Yeah. So anyway, I pulled these. To me, there's a sense of dignity and honor, kind of like what I'm talking about, and I think that's just sort of the message. Honor yourself. It's not like you have to create a facade of dignity and honor just for a face to put it to express to the world or anything like that. It's more like feeling that and owning that, I want to say. So I also have my Native American deck that I love these cards. I got this amazing healing from Elaine Malloy, who I'm going to have on the channel in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited. She's an Irish healer and teacher, and she's doing the healing and working with me and stuff like that. And I just pulled the card, just because I set certain intentions, and it was the 10 of Pentacles was the card that I pulled. I'm like, yeah, that's a good omen. That's a good sign, because And that can be about wealth. It can be about power. Good in a positive way. And part of the intention for that healing was clearing some creative or energetic obstructions that I've been feeling for the last several months, and it really worked actually. So I feel like I'm back in my progressive growing state again, although stagnation is a part of growth, so we shouldn't resist that either. We should accept it, and I did. That's probably why I was able to work through it. All right, I'm not thinking, I'm connecting. Here we go. This is the one they want me to pull. So this is the card that I pulled. What's this? The two of Travois. And it looks like the two of axes. What are axes translated? Swords, maybe, I guess. Two of swords. What's two of swords? Saturn and Libra. Do I have that one right? No, the three of swords is Saturn and Libra. What's the two of swords, Sharita? Um, Hold on one second here. Um, wait. No, we don't want to show this. No, hide. Sorry about that. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. That means I'm getting popular if I'm getting spammed. So, that has a lot of warrior energy also, so sort of, this two of axes almost like feels like the axes are opening up and kind of allowing passage is kind of the uh oh, we have another one. uh okay, all right, okay, they those comments should be gone. Are the comments gone from the thread? Moon and Libra, thank you. Yeah. So, and the three sort of Saturn Libra. That's right. It's coming back to me. Yeah. Uh, yeah, MT, right. Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago, if I suggested or said that natural immunity is as good as vaccines and maybe even better, I would have had the video taken down for medical misinformation. Now that's part of the narrative. They cannot hide that anymore. So more and more truths are going to come out. That's really part of it. So this is Moon in Libra, very reflective, right? Libra's that balancing energy, kind of, in a way, the horse isn't running, it's going slowly and it's looking around. It's not in a rush. And I think that's part of the message is, we're very triggered, even if we're not aware of it. We tend to be, a little bit short tempered, a little bit reactive, all that stuff because we're just being bombarded by so much energy, so much negativity, so much control that we really have to just be, again, in our center. One of the things that came out in my healing was that she said that my energies, very, very strong and big, but nebulous at the same time, and that I needed to ground more. So I've been adding more grounding to my morning routine as a result of that. So I think we kind of, we need to be in our lower chakras also. A lot of people really work more with the upper chakras, um, but you want that foundation. And this is super important in these next 6 months to get very grounded. We're going to need that. I mean, honestly, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Maybe there's somebody out there that's very prophetic that does know, but I don't. I just understand the flavor of it, and I also understand that there's some free will and fluidity of time involved in that. So I don't think the outcome is necessarily set, but the trajectory certainly is. And yeah, so stay grounded. Don't necessarily feel like you have to be in a rush. And this is where I need my specs because I want to see what the details. Well, it looks like there's another horse there carrying someone else. So it looks like also that there's a meeting that's happening, and I think this is I think some of you are going to really start to connect with a new spirit guide, or find like either a mentor or somebody that spiritually you can relate to in the course of the next week or two. It truly asks for peace. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, they do that on Instagram also. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm sorry. I put the card away. All right. Anyway, let me get my medicine cards, and I see we're already going on a full hour today. So let me go to the next phase here. Oh, this is the medicine card by Jamie Sams and David Carlson. Did I get their names right? Jamie Sands and David Carson, not Carlson, Carson, creators of the medicine cards. So this is, well, we got porcupine, nice. So maybe the a little bit of an adjunctive message is these, sometimes you need to put those quills out if you feel that you're being threatened or under attack or stuff like that. Thank you, Sharita, for that comment. Yeah. Um, So this is what I got: the porcupine, yeah, with the quills. So I mean, on one hand, we write with quills, so that could be a message about communication. On the other hand, we protect ourselves with them. So so I think it's spiritual way of saying, that we just may need to have our shields up, and that might be a smart thing to do. Basically, I think again, I think a lot of these cards, and I don't know who it's for, being that we're not too many people on live, only 25 live, but still, this, these reach, about 300 people during the course of the week. But so if you, even if you're not live, it's still your message. So I think there's some of you that are really trying to work through some interpersonal conflict, whether it's a best friend, a family member, or a romantic partner, or all of the above. And again, the two is reflective. Libra's balance. So that's going back to the other card. I was getting the Two of Swords, or two of hatchets or axes, but I think that's an underlying theme. So I think preparing energetically, as well as physically. Have your food and supplies or whatever for what could be a lean winter with food and supplies and shortages and stuff. Uh, but also, it's more about preparing your energy, whatever that means to you. Doing more meditation, working with your auric fields and shields and stuff like that. Getting centered. I feel like they're saying really get into that sacral chakra, that second chakra, because that's the root chakra of our emotional body, is the sacral chakra. And how what we feel dictates what we create in our lives, because what we feel becomes an energy, becomes a personal reality, and the outer reality often reflects what we feel on the inside, which is often an illusion, by the way. Although in some cases it could be more factual than what your eyes are seeing. So I shouldn't necessarily say that, but the point being is that um, that prepare energetically and emotionally. So porcupine is key 12, and I'll just read just a paragraph or so and then move on. So here we go. So porcupine actually represents innocence, according to the medicine cards. And there's a little poem: porcupine, remind me of innocence again, where every man a brother, each woman a friend. So the south of porcupines in the south, that's the childlike innocence and humility. It is the home of playfulness and the position of porcupine on the medicine wheel. Of course, so they talk more about the power of faith and trust, and the ability to move mountains. Um, but there's definitely those quills, and that protects the mechanism. To me, it's part of that protecting that innocence and that trust. So So there's that feeling being more like in your childlike nature also. And thank you. Yeah, oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Sharita. Uh, RX retrograde abbreviation. Yes, we're right. Oh, and we have Doreen Virtue's messages from the angels to finish up this morning. Pulling 4 piles for the 4 directional archangels. All right. So asking, clearing my mind, not thinking, connecting. Okay. There we go. So this is what we got. Athena. I think we've gotten her before. I think it's about being powerful, right? Yeah, it is safe to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in the loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. Hold your ground. This is a time to really work on our angel wings. And I'll actually, at 7, I'm going to share a couple of breathing exercises. We're going to do the new moon forecast for the next 29 days. For the next lunar cycle, it starts with a partial solar eclipse in 2 degrees of Scorpio. So so that 2 energy, very reflective energy, coming into this next lunar cycle, and but it's also in Scorpio, which is really transformative and really powerful stuff. So this is really, a lot of this energy is how to be powerful. Now, being powerful doesn't mean kicking people's butt, by the way. That's not being powerful. That's the opposite. Resorting to physical force because you feel so disempowered that you have to resort to that. Being powerful is being powerful of heart, powerful of spirit. You're powerful of your own conviction. And like the card says, in the loving way. So when we're truly in our power, we can't be taken off of our flow by people's negativity or even what's going on in the world. We can be, again, they're saying be in the sacrum. I always say be in the heart, but the sacral chakra, they're saying also, again, that really, centering you in your positive emotional body there. And of course, always be in the heart. Because when we activate the heart, we activate the brain. Because they're 2 parts of the same system, as it were. That's why heart-brain coherence is going to be, as the years go on, it's going to get more and more popular. There may be other names or other practices that do the same thing, but the thing is, the only thing that separates your heart from your brain is illusion. They're really one. And when you develop emotional intelligence in the heart, you enhance your intelligence of your brain also. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. And be well. So 7 o'clock, if you want to come back for the live, then we'll be here. Same bad time, same bad channel. I did a mediumship group yesterday, or mediumship reading in Massachusetts, and one of their spirits was showing me Batman, like the Batman symbol. The person didn't understand what they meant, but they showed me that. So maybe it's that time to get our bat powers. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much. Enjoy your day, everybody. Thank you. I love you, and we'll see you next time. Be well.